Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad to see you all in today's video, which is gonna be a house spotlight, and we are gonna talk about natural perfumes from GATHER Perfumes. It is an artisan perfume house which I came across accidentally. Actually, the owner and the perfumer, Ananda Wilson, contacted me on Instagram and kindly asked me if I'm interested in exploring her line, and of course I went on her website just to check out the perfumes, and I got really inspired by her concept and each individual story of fragrances, because they all tell personal, intimate stories, and I was very curious about her line, and she sent me a bunch of different samples and even homemade tinctures. She makes only natural perfumes without using synthetic ingredients, and they are made only in small batches. So she also creates different tinctures on her own, which is so interesting. So all her fragrances are very complex, and she's very passionate about herbs, and she knows a lot about plants because she's an herbalist, and you can tell that herbal signature in each of her perfumes, because I can feel that she tries to connect us with the nature through her fragrances. So that's been mentioned. Let's just jump into this full house overview, because I will try to review each perfume the best way I can, and I hope this video won't be too long, even though I know it will be long because I just try to be very informative. So the first one that I want to mention is called The Earth Loves in Flowers, and this is how her packaging looks. I find it so modern and unique. It is really cute, and when you open it you get a perfume and dry plants which fragrance was inspired by, or which ingredients were used to create the perfume. So this is obviously a yellow sunny fragrance. The color of this juice is just amazing. It is so vibrant and bright, and it is all about yellow flowers that were so long on the sunshine that they have this sunny, very bright and fun energy. But this doesn't smell like dead flowers that you can smell in a flower shop. No, these are yellow flowers that grow wildly and free in the nature somewhere in the fields. It has beautiful floral sweetness and just a bit of citrusy elements, and they are so well balanced. They are very aromatic with that freshly herbal touch, but just a little bit. And my mom always compliments me on this perfume. She calls it aristocratic, which I totally agree with. And by the way, it has great longevity, so I like that her perfumes, even though they are natural, they have some longevity and ability to project, which is great because I want my perfume to be noticeable. And that's been said, that was my favorite from her line. And her new release, Falling, the Embrace, is my second favorite. It could be the first one, but I just really love The Earth Loves in Flowers. Oh, and by the way, each perfume comes with a story like this, and I absolutely love these beautiful cards. You have the inspiration rating inside and all the notes, and each one looks different, like different design, and I highly appreciate all the effort that she puts in all single detail, into the packaging, to the scents, into taking time and experience in different materials. And this one comes in a box with dry rose and coffee beans, because one of the ingredients is actually espresso and coffee. It also has oak moss and some fruity shipper notes, because it is a shipper perfume, and I find it such a complex genre of perfumery, and unfortunately nowadays it is not that popular because a lot of people are looking for something very simple and just like easy, and shippers are not easy, and it is hard to create a great shipper, and that is probably the best example of natural high quality shipper that smells like perfume. It is not as much on the aromatherapy side as a lot of other fragrances. Like this is probably the most well blended of her perfumes ever. It is cozy, it is very sexy, it really develops on the skin because it goes from aromatic fresh stage to very sexy one, and I love it. It is cozy, it turns more warm, very inviting, and has this subtle fruitiness to the end, which is just interesting. And then finally we have Vintage Violet, and I really love the name of it because I was expecting some Vintage Violet. I wanted it to be floral and kind of like powdery, but it is not it. So what I got was an adventurous scent that gave me a feeling of going out on a date with the nature, and nature is quite unexpected, you know, you don't know what to expect from her. And this perfume is kind of wild. It is herbal green shipper in my opinion. It is very interesting, it is very multifaceted, and it really smells different every time I wear it, and it gets better and better every time I wear it. So it is a green shipper that is so greatly unisex, and it is great for nighttime because it's very mysterious. So the falling is more sexy and Vintage Violet is more mysterious. So that being said, let's move on to our samples. I have them in a box with dry rose buds and I absolutely love them. And the first one I want to talk about is called Rainwater Rose because I love it. It is a great rose soliflora that smells youthful and innocent in the first moment, and then it develops and it becomes more rich and jammy, and it literally reminds me of roses growing on the bush in my grandmother's garden, and then she makes a jam using those rose petals till this day for me, and this is how it smells for me. This is a rosy perfume that is done correctly. It is a complex rose on its own, and it actually was inspired by gathering roses that Ananda gathered with her daughter. Like, she has very inspiring background, and I highly appreciate her just contribute to the fragrance community, and I highly recommend you guys to go on her website, just check out different stories because they are very inspiring. So this is a great rose. Like, I would like to have it in a bigger bottle just to go crazy with it because it's great. So the next perfume is called Samara, and this is a sexy green scent that I appreciate for its strangeness. Like, it is strangely sweet green scent with kind of like citrusy sweetness. It's very strange, and all of her perfumes are very like colored, so I don't know, like I applied one of them and I got like, I don't know, a color, so be careful with them because they can stain. But this one is sexy on the man during the spring. I love it. And now I want to talk about Mbrain, which also gave me this strange color because all her ingredients are just like so rich and they have these colors, and I just want to read you about it from her website so you'll get like a sneak peek into her writing, which is so informative and educative, so I highly recommend you to check it out. So she says, before the advent of synthetic fragrances there was only nature, plants, animals, moss, shells, oils, nectar, waxes and booze, the organic state of complex, mysterious and magical miracles of earth, and of these organic materials perfumes of all kinds were crafted. So in the lineage of perfumes that generated wider, more glamorous use and contributed to the future of what we now know as perfume classifications, there is the Oriental perfume family. She mentioned this briefly in her post of Malice perfume, which I didn't try, unfortunately. Oriental fragrances are built around a strong, voluptuous amber base and then layered upon with the lavish spices, florals, and citruses. She put quotes around amber because it is imaginary. It is an accord built from more than one ingredient to conjure a deep, creamy, resinous, sweet, sultry, often powdery aroma that we have come to find familiar in items like incense, aroma necklaces or rubber perfumes and so on. So unfortunately many of the aroma mentioned amber products are questionable in terms of ingredients, and they are somewhat flat in her opinion, and in mine too. So it also is important to mention that with the evolution of plant essence extractions, we now have an access to incredible real amber resin, fossiled amber, that is one of her favorite aromatics, and she used a very special amber note in here. She created several different perfume modes in Chandra's Oriental perfumery class, which she took just to educate herself, but she's a self-taught perfumer, and she fell madly in love with amber notes, so she created two perfumes, Malice and Mbrain. And the vanilla tincture in Mbrain is handcrafted using bourbon and Tahitian vanilla beans, soaked for many weeks and made extra strong. The orris root used here, she also tinctured by hand using aged orris roots, which have an incredible aroma of powder and sweet earth and has long been used in perfumery. And orris root also gives tenacity to the perfume, helping it to wear longer time. And if this is not the best fresh herbal complex scent, I don't know what is. It has this complexity and coziness of amber, and it is just amazing. It is very oriental. It is also quite heady and overwhelming, but I appreciate it very much. So that was Mbrain. And I also have this scent Tea Season, which is kind of interesting, aromatic tea scent with some very sparkling citruses and lavender. And I'm doing this because they're jumping of this tea cup and they want to break free, but you know what, this is just a fun perfume, not my favorite, but it's interesting. And Tanis Daughter is a hardcore lavender scent, which is so calming and relaxing and just takes you to the spa. So that is a great one, which is not like something close to my heart, but it is just very calming, you know. And I also really want to talk, guys, about Bluegrass, because this perfume is like sweet grass that reminds me of tapioca pearls in the what is that, bubble tea, Thai traditional drink, like chewy black tapioca pearls, which I crave a lot. Chandra is the perfume that is so particular and unusual, and it could be my herbal signature. It is a special perfume, and I love the name because it means moon in Sanskrit. I know that from my astrology, and it also is the middle name of Ananda's daughter, which is such a cool idea, Ananda. Thanks, I will remember it. This is just a very particular, interesting perfume, hard to describe, really hard to describe. It is airy and very dense, so it is interesting. There is the note of basil, and she sent me her basil accord or tincture, and it is like basil, like imagine basil in the perfume. So cool, so atmospheric, quite abstract, very hard to describe. It's just like for people who love more abstract and complex perfumes. And that basically completes this video. Oh my god, we made it till the end. So I love her passion. I can smell really deep and really like just like passion in all her perfumes for this nature. So I highly recommend you to go on her website, check everything out. Like, everything is so amazing about her packaging, and it's just something different, you guys. If you love natural perfumes and you're in the USA or that part of the world, check her out. She's like a hidden gem, and I'm sure much more reviewers are gonna talk about her really soon. So that was all from me. I hope it was informative and helpful. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And that was all. I also reviewed her perfumes on Instagram. Check it out. I will leave a link to my social media. And I hope you enjoyed this Tuesday house highlight, whatever. Oh, and by the way, the bow that I'm wearing is actually, it is handmade from Sarah Baker's perfumes, which is kind of cool, right? So I hope you enjoyed watching it. I kind of like dig my makeup and the perfumes and everything, and I had a lot of fun to film this video. I'm obsessed with natural perfumes. Leave me a comment with your natural perfume favorite perfume, and I need to go. Bye guys, hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day, stay tuned, smell good, and we'll see each other really soon. That is like my sentence to finish the video. No, bye. I need to go because my battery is gonna die any minute.